Yo, what's up guys? It's Yellowfin, and it is time to do a garage review sort of video. It's just reviewing of my garage though. I might do different garage reviews in the future for other people's garages on my Discord server, link is in the description. But we are going to be going over a country because I thought that this might be a better way to go through my entire garage than putting it in through one video with like no commentary, or having like an hour-long video with commentary. So instead, I'm going to be splitting it up by countries. We'll have one for Japan, one for Germany, one for the US, one for the UK, one for Italy, one for France, and then one will be for the rest of the world countries. So that one won't really be a very long video, but we are going to start with the UK because I feel like this is a good one to start off with, but not like one of the biggest ones, but it's also not one of the smallest ones, so it works as a good one to start off with. So we are going to be starting with going through my garage in the UK, and I'm just going to talk about what I'm working with, what I've got, and what I'd like to get in the future. So, starting it off is pretty much just a random collection of commons. The reason why I have a lot of random Fords, which you will see as we continue scrolling, is because I'm trying to collect all the common Fords, and I've been working on collecting them for a bit. I keep calling it Year of the Tiger. Silver Screen 2 kind of hurt my Ford collection a bit because I had to fuse away a couple when I need to max out a bunch of commons for Silver Screen 2, but I'm working on recollecting a bunch of them. Then I've also got the Vauxhall PA Velux, which is maxed out for two-tone. The Vauxhall Astra, I think, had the silver, or not, it had Year of the Tiger. The Vauxhall Astra had Year of the Tiger tag on it, so that's why it's maxed out. Lotus 7 was Silver Screen, which is why that's maxed out. The Vauxhall Cavalier is actually a car I've had for quite a while, and it's not too bad of one. I do use it sometimes. It's a good common all-rounder for rain events, so it does get itself a bit of use. Then the Ford D-Max is just kept for common Ford collection. I've got two XK140s, one's at 332 and one is at 323. They used to get a lot of use, and they don't really get much use anymore. I've had it for nearly 700 days. That one I have had for 700 days. They used to get a lot of races on them, but now they really don't see much use at all, but they're still cool cars to have in the garage. Then we've got a TVR Vixen and a TVR 1600M, both just good clubs cars. I'll eventually max them out at some point. MGB is also not a bad one. It's rear-wheel drive standard tires. It is low ground clearance though, which is a bit of a downer, but it is lightweight, and it does have pretty strong all-around stats for it being rear-wheel drive, which does give it a bit of an advantage then. So it is not too bad of a car. Then I've also got two Ford Fiestas, which I had before I started specializing in collecting common Fords. A Ford Ka, which is probably my current common project. It's at 211. And then we've got a Vauxhall Tigro Twin Top, which I'll max out eventually, but it's just been sitting here in the garage. An XK120, which is 323. I maxed out at 323. Had that for 656 days. It doesn't really get much use either. Then the Ford Focus and the two Fiestas, two Escorts, which I meant to 332 but I was tired and I accidentally 323 both of them, which was kind of silly by me. They were for two-tone, and I wanted to max out one 332 and one 323 because I have a feeling they'll be very useful for two-tone, but I might need to end up maxing out a third one for two-tone since I messed that up. And then the Rover 200 because I collected all the Rovers, so I have all of those kept as well. Then we've got the Ford Escort Mexico in the garage for two-tone. The Fiesta XR2, which I just added to my garage a while ago and maxed it out just for fun because why not? And so it's just sort of been in the garage for a very long time. It's just one of those random cars in my garage that I have maxed out, and it sometimes gets a bit of use. I've used it for 387 races, so it actually gets quite a lot of use. I do use it in clubs when it's front-wheel drive. So maybe it actually is not, it's not too bad of a car, like compared to the Vauxhall HP Forenza, which is also a very useful one. The only thing that it has that's different is 0.1 slower 0 to 60, one less handling. It's from the 80s, and it's front-wheel drive instead of rear-wheel drive, but still, it's a pretty solid little car. Then we got the Ford EcoSport, which I'm also trying to just, in general, collect all the Fords that are lower tier, but I don't know. I just kept the Ford EcoSport too because it's a car that I'm never going to keep, so I might as well add it to the garage now. So then I'll just have it in the garage and I'll have it collected because I'm still working on my collecting phase because we are not going to receive a new update for a while, which is why I've decided to, as you can see in the new roadmap that they released, the update is on the long trip ahead, or the long road trip, or whatever they called it, but we're not receiving a new update for a while, so that's why I am now collecting. I am continuing my collecting passion, which we'll see soon, when we get into one of the different rarity ranges. It's not ultra rare. Ultra rare, I'm trying to keep every ultra rare is way too hard when I have epics I want to max out. Then we've got the XK150, which I've had for 753 days. It gets a bit of use as well. It used to get some use in the past, now it doesn't really get much use at all. Mark II I maxed out for silver screen. This Rover I kept to keep all the Rovers. TVR Timar is a good car for clubs. 65 races, so it doesn't get too much use, but it's still a good one to have maxed out. DB5 I just kept because it's the James Bond car. I'm not sure if I'll max it out anytime soon. This Vauxhall Corsa I kept randomly, similar to the Ford EcoSport. It's just like I'm never going to keep this car, so I might as well just add it to the garage now while I have the slot open. Rover 400 I kept for Rovers, same for the 800, which is maxed out. That was in a challenge, I think. It might have been Year of the Tiger. Yeah, it was Year of the Tiger because it's from the 86. Ford Mondeo I kept because it looks like it could be useful in clubs because of its 78 handling. Then I've got the Opel Vectra, which I kept a while ago, similar to the Ford Fiesta. I just kept it to max it randomly because I wanted a car to max out. Then there's the Rover 623, which was just for... I actually maxed this out before it was useful, or before I was Rover specializing. I just kept it in my garage because it looked like it could be a useful one. And 82% win ratio actually isn't that bad when I use it quite frequently in clubs, sometimes even as an RQ saver. Then we got the TVR 3000S, which I think is basically just a lesser tier Europa. If you need to save some RQ, you want this TVR 3000S, so it's actually not a bad one. Then we've got my dream car, the Ford Escort RS Turbo. Hopefully I'll have one in the future. But yeah, it's not really that great of a car in-game though. It's just missing that handling kind of. Should have more handling, not gonna lie. The Land Rover Discovery 2, it's actually pretty useful in clubs because it's got a bit of handling behind it. It doesn't have like 50. It's got 71 max, so that's actually not too bad. And the Europa, but everyone should have a Europa. And then we got the V8 Volante, which was needed for Year of the Tiger. We've got a Vauxhall for two-tone, a Rover for Rover collecting, the Caterham, which is a good club car, Rover for Rover collecting, Rover for Rover collecting. We've got a Jag, which I kept when that Jaguar tune-up came out. Same goes for this Jag as well. That's why I've got those two Jags kept, and they both were very useful because this one was Year of the Tiger, and this one was silver screen, and they both helped out quite a lot. Europa, because it's a good car, I just haven't gotten around to max it out yet. The Montego Turbo I've always kept on all my accounts. 460 races, 80% win ratio. I didn't actually realize I used it this much on this account, but it is definitely a very useful car. Vauxhall Carlton and the Ford Mondeo as well are both useful ones, similar areas, and then the Vauxhall Chevette is just the best out of all of them. Then I also kept the Focus because it's just similar to the Mondeo. The Freelander I used to have on an old account, which is why I have it kept on this one. And then I've got the Bentley Arnage and the Ford Escort Rally Spec, the Mondeo, the Elise, and the Aston Martin Virage, all of which are just good high-tier rare cars, which you guys probably already know that. This one, though, I actually 323'd it instead of 332. I know 332 probably would also be useful as well, but 323 hasn't been not useful. It actually has helped out quite a bit. And then now this is where I want to talk about my new specialization. I am trying to keep every super rare and max out every super rare in the game. And now this is a much more doable specialization because ultra rares, I don't really just like max them out randomly because they're kind of expensive to max out. I have the Fuse, but they are just really expensive to max out, which is why I don't really max them out often. But super rares are fun to max out because they are still moderately expensive. They get a lot of use most of the time. They are very useful and could be often key in challenges. They could be what's preventing you from winning or losing. So if you have all the super rares, then you have a good shot at winning. And they are just, there's a lot of them, but they're also not that hard to collect. Plus, to collect them, you can only really get them from ceramic packs or aluminum packs, or I guess steel packs if you're lucky, or carbon fibers, but you can't get them from prize boards. And they're not as uncommon as ultra rares, so it's a bit more fulfilling to collect super rares. And so that's why my current project that I'm working on maxing out right now is the Vauxhall Vectra VXR, which I'm actually going to be 332ing because it has very strong MRA for it being a British random saloon. Right? It's a saloon? Yep, it is a saloon. Alright. For it being a random British saloon. So that's going to be a pretty useful one to then have maxed out. I've also got my E-Pace, which helped in the recent Veterans Challenge for Jaguar. My M100 Elan, which I've had for a while, 822 days, 1,705 races, 75% win ratio. It is a very useful car. If you don't have it yet, I would suggest putting it on your wish list, and when you get it, you max it out, because I've gotten a ton of use out of this car. Jaguar XK8, which was maxed for silver screen. Ford Scorpio kept for super rare. Specialization Vauxhall Insignia is also a nice one, similar to the Cadillac ELR, except it's medium. It's basically just a Cadillac ELR that's medium, because it doesn't have as great handling or 0 to 60, but it's got the top speed and the medium ground clearance, so it's useful in the other areas where you need something with medium. Vauxhall Vectra I already talked about. Rover is a prize car, which helped me start specializing in Rover then to collect them all. Sierra was Year of the Tiger. Jaguar I've just had kept, same for the Rover. Range Rover, I mean. Which I kept more for a sentimental purpose, because I have this memory of, I was just at like this random hotel, and it was when Great Exhibition had relatively came out. It had been out for a bit, but it relatively came out, and I was using this when it was for the Sir Peter Blake Continental GT Bentley, and it was when my account was relatively new, and I was using a 2-star, and it was actually doing pretty well because there were some off-road track sets in that event. And I remember I was sitting on this bench in this hotel, and there I was just playing that event. It's just a random memory. I don't know why I still remember it, but I do, which is now why this isn't the original Range Rover. I sold that one a while ago, probably, when I purged my garage a bunch of times, but that's why I'm keeping this one now. It's for sentimental value, and now also for the purpose of keeping all the super rares. Range Rover Evoque I kept recently. DB7 I kept a while ago. I don't mean to be keeping 2 XKR 100s. I guess I didn't turn unlocked off, but yeah. Then we got Disco Sport, more random out maxed out cars. I'm not keeping a second Mulsanne. I just forgot to turn off unlocked. And just a bunch of other random cars that are also pretty useful. I maxed this one out recently for that Veterans Challenge, which definitely helped out a bit. And now we are on to Ultra Rares now, which are a bit more interesting, but it's kind of the same as just like everyone's UK Ultra Rare collection. Lots of Lotus, and that's pretty much it. So Lotus Elise Sport, we got the Ariel Atom 1, the Caterham 7270, which helped me win my Lancia LC2, because I maxed it out at 233, so it won against the 323 specs on Mountain Slalom, which was very key, because if I would have not 233'd it, I would have not won my Lancia LC2. Also the Bulldog and the Aston Martin DB7 Vantage, which is a more of a expensive version of that Ford Fiesta, where I maxed it out because I wanted a random car to max out, except this random car to max out was an ultra rare. Then the F-Type Coupe I kept a while ago, because it has like 90 MRA, and it has been a very useful one. 508 races, 69% win ratio. It's not a bad car. Exige S2, same with the Vauxhall VX220. They're just both good twisty cars. Range Rover Sport I kept like near the beginning, or I guess a while ago. Near the beginning of my account, I'd say. Forenza Old Nail and the DB9 I'm just keeping. Same goes for the XKR. Well, the Forenza Old Nail I have to keep, but these two I'm kind of just keeping to maybe if I need them to max them out. TVR 450 SEAC is just a good one. Sierra I maxed out just because I like the car. Esprit S4 I'll probably max out at some point. And then we've got just a bunch of the other key higher tier cars up here. And then a Tomorrow, which I need to max out. But now for the more cool stuff to talk about, which is the Epics, and then also the Legendaries eventually, but TVR Sagaris at 231. The Renault Finals gave me an excuse to start working on upgrading him, which was nice, because I really wanted to work on this car, even though it is pretty much fuse material. So that's why I am working on maxing it out, or not maxing it out anymore. I'm not working on maxing it out anymore, but I have an excuse to keep it now, because it's got 3 fuses in it. And then I've also got the Jaguar XKR SGT, which is just not too bad of an all-rounder for lower RQ epics, and it was useful in the Jaguar finals, so I'm going to be keeping that one then. Bentley Continental Flying Spur is one of my newer cars. Got it for silver screen and then 2-starred it. It has 3 days, 22 races, 77% win ratio. It's at 123. It helped me win the Porsche Cayenne though, so I'd say it was a worthy investment. Caterham CSR is one of my newest cars as well. Very happy with having this one because I have a feeling it'll be very useful. My Caterham JPE gets a lot of use, so I have a feeling the Caterham CSR will as well. Bit too late though to get it because it would have been basically my key to victory in the Renault RS Finals, the Slick Tire Legendary. But oh well, I've got it now though, so that's nice. Then I have the V12 Vantage, which I have at 211 because I put an engine fuse into it a while ago to get the top speed boost to maybe beat the RQ63 Aston Martin Ultra Rare with very high top speed. I forgot what it's called, but it's a very good one, and I put that engine fuse in to hopefully beat it on Test Bowl in a qualifiers a very long time ago to win a carbon fiber, and I didn't win the carbon fiber, and it didn't beat that RQ63. but I still have it in the garage, and it is still a good car. It has the same stats maxed as my V12 Vantage Carbon Black Edition, which I have maxed out at 233, and this one will also be 233 eventually, but that probably won't happen for a while. Then we've got a F-Type Project 7. This one is fuse material, but I've got one F-Type Project 7, and then also the I-Pace and the JPE. Meant to click on the I-Pace first, but it didn't work. The two 211S Charged, which I pulled both on Black Friday 151 days ago and 151 days ago. And it's definitely a very useful car, and I'm not going to get rid of the second one because of how useful it is, and maybe I will need a second one for a final or something. It could be a very key car in a final, so I don't want to fuse it away then, because it maxes out to 3.1100. I'm just in no rush to max out the second one, but I've got the slot, so I'm going to keep it. Lotus Elise Cup 250 is also a very good one. Same goes for the Evora 400. Then I've got the SLR McLaren Roadster, which I pulled in Daytona, which was kind of cool. I was on vacation in Daytona, and I was chilling outside, and I pulled it, and I'm like, whoa, RQ78 Mercedes-Benz, that's pretty cool. Then I've got the Bentley Continental GT Speed Coupe, CC100 Speedster, Flying Spur, and the Continental Super Sports, and that's basically it for my higher tier epics. And then we move on to Legendaries, where it's not bad, but it's also not great for British Legendaries. There's some very strong British heavy hitters. I'd have to say my best British Legendary is actually the XESV Project 8. I get the most use out of it, 136 days, 82% win ratio. All the other ones are useful when they're needed. The McLaren GT is not bad. The 12C also isn't bad, but it doesn't have a fuse in it, which is why I rank the XESV Project 8 as more useful. The Continental doesn't really get much use. This guy's still stock, which kind of explains for it. The Bentayga is sometimes useful when it's key, but it's key very rarely. And then the Ariel Atom 3 is just your run-of-the-mill RQ80 Legendary. It's useful sometimes, but not really useful all the time. So yeah, that's it for my British collection. It's not too bad, but it's also not great. I mean, it's good. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough for now, but it's not going to win me anything compared to some of my other collections. I'd say it's probably my fourth strongest country, behind Japan, Germany, and USA. Those three are definitely much stronger than the UK, but still, it's going. That's pretty much it. It's just going. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys will like this series. I just also want to upload these videos just to see in the future how far my garage will change, like in a year or so, and I can just watch these videos back and see what my garage looked like back then. And so yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. I'm Yellowfin. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.